You cannot go without this book, and let me explain why. Voices of the Diaspora, written by Knowledge Born Allah, takes you through countless and countless different blacks. From our scholars, our warriors, our great sisters, and even entrepreneurs. It speaks to the past, the present, and the future. There's even an action plan for us that are serious about businesses that we wanted to take on. Entrepreneurship is one of the first things that he speaks about. And if you're an avid reader, this is a 5-part series. So this is not only a great resource for ourselves, it's a great resource for us as parents. We can teach it and incorporate it into our lesson plans for our children.
Rebel yell, that's when we rebel. Yeah, the brick is going down outside, nowhere the high state of emergency. Nowhere the sirens going off and gunshots too, they wanna murder me. Make this concrete that's under me a darker burgundy. Your cop shoot at these 5 shots, you won't make it all the surgery. They see us as a predator, target practice it occurred to me. Training with some emergency, I can hit them long range deep like Stephen Curry beat. Middle fingers up like fuck the judge and what the verdict be. Fuck behind his hell, I'm burning up, I'm talking third degree. Hockery, help them see the light and I ain't talking about no hater shit. You try to reawake their brain, they indoctrinated it. It's brick the foundation, copacetic meditation, who they blaming? When they say that I'm inciting riots, I just feel the fire. The passion that's inside of my true freedom, can't deny it. Even if it means violence, cause we tired every day the same shit. Nothing murdered by police and look, we got the same skin. So what I'm supposed to think and feel when I don't see some change in? If they don't wanna fix it, then we gotta make the change then. Voting ain't gon' get it done, marching ain't gon' get it done. Know your arms and if you low on ammo, better get to some. They still burning down black churches, but it's different, huh? This just an HD version of 1961. The Soviets was testing nukes, so I'ma trap a bomb. Shout out to the freedom riders, they was trying to get it done, but still we got so far to go, you better fill it up. Global African supremacists, the nation building up. Rebels yell, that's when we rebel, we on level 12. Broke the knob, all turned up, gotta defend ourselves. All the beer warriors, what the news is trying to sell us. We don't wanna hear no more of them lies he trying to tell us. Rebels yell, that's when we rebel, we on level 12. Broke the knob, all turned up, gotta defend ourselves. All the beer warriors, what the news is trying to sell us. We don't wanna hear no more of them lies he trying to tell us. They say that when you seeing smoke, there's somewhere there's always fire. We're never going off the grid, it's all about survival. Let's brick the foundation, trying to build me an empire. Castle walls, super tall, ain't no way to get inside. No way, no house in the towers, rotating every 6 hours. We on guard for the attack, let's paint the whole city black. And feel our power, get devoured, put this knowledge over trap. Use the frequency to speak to the youth, put them on track. Because the movement is in motion and we rollin'. No time for all the ignorance, no longer we condone it. All I got in this world is my words and my cojones. Since I'm still alive, I saw his fucking face this morning. Recognize that you dealing with a god in the flesh. Going post on movie loco, I ain't talking no address. No defense, I done had it up to here with all the blatant disrespect. Bow down and kiss the rings, I ain't no puppet on no string. They say they super cool, opposition ain't comfortable to me. Said no hiatus till we make it, then I finally feel complete. I put my fist up in the sky cause I want everyone to see. Hazard lights shining bright, middle fingers for police, let's go. Rebels yell, that's when we rebel, we on level 12. Broke the knob, all turned up, gotta defend ourselves. All the beer warriors, what the news is trying to sell us. We don't wanna hear no more of them lies he trying to tell us. Rebels yell, that's when we rebel, we on level 12. Broke the knob, all turned up, gotta defend ourselves. All the beer warriors, what the news is trying to sell us. We don't wanna hear no more of them lies he trying to tell us. Let's go.
All right, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Do Not Radio, place for knowledge born. It's your host, Knowledge Born Alive here in the building. Shout out to our brother Brick the Foundation. It's been a minute. But it's still going on. So peace to the family, wherever you're listening from. Make sure you go to www.youtube.com/Do the Knowledge Radio, as it is spelled DOTHAKNOWLEDGERADIO. For the month of December, we're doing this cultural shift series. So this is day 10. All right, day 10. And today we're here answering the research question, how can communities rebuild and thrive after loss? So I'm going to get into it. This has been magnificent so far. So I appreciate everybody who has been tuning in, leaving commentary and all kinds of things. Definitely dope. Okay. So today we'll focus on the transformative journey of rebuilding after loss. Whether it's economic hardship, natural disasters, or social change, communities have the strength to rise and rebuild. And we're going to explore how. But before we do that, I don't remember what year it was. Probably a couple years ago. Yeah, a couple is two. So probably 2 years ago, no longer. I was on Clubhouse and had a room dedicated to rebuilding after the flood. I think we did a 2-part series over there. I was talking about rebuilding after the flood. And I used the biblical narrative for a reference point in regards to decisions that were made. And it really came down to your God consciousness in that essence, right? It came down to your God consciousness in that essence. How do you rebuild after a decision that you thought was good now becomes something that appears to be unfavorable? Do you lose yourself in that decision, or do you rise above that decision? So I gave the narrative of God consciousness of Genesis 1 versus Genesis 6. We look at Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, right? And everything that God had created in chapter 1, made in chapter 2, in his sight, was good. Everything that was created or made was good. Now, by chapter 6, the Lord had repented for what he had made. So what happened in between chapter 1 and chapter 6? Life. Life happened. So life happened, right? So the life in this case that we're speaking about, before I get into my notes, is your decision making, the life of your decision. So our elders, our family members tell us, oh, you made your bed, now you got to lie in it. You know what I'm saying? So the life of the decisions that we make have a trajectory. They have a destiny, right? So when we start talking about decision making, what happened? Life happened. So something that you made or something that you created, a decision that you made, created a set of circumstances, consequences, rewards, punishments, whatever the case may be. And now they're alive and you have to live with them. So now, in chapter 6 of the biblical narrative, God saw a people that when God looked inside of the people in their deepest recesses, there was something evil continually. Evil continually. So think about something that you made or created. You had an intent for it, and an intent for it was good. But the lifespan of it might have deviated from the intended trajectory or design. So now it's a space to say, repented for what he had made. So this divine mind said, all right, got you. I'm going to destroy it all. I'm going to destroy it all. And that's the modality we get into. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, such and such, I'm gonna cut such and such off, whatever, blah, 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 or that, whatever the case may be. Like, all right, I'm gonna just leave it. I'm gonna abandon it. However it goes in regards to that. So you go through that process of preparing your mind, heart, and being for the loss based off the decision. Like I said, I'm getting to the notes in a second, but I just wanted to talk about that from that perspective. When the decision or the trajectory or the circumstance or whatever it is that you had your heart set on or your mind set on doesn't go your way, where are you now? Are you constructing or are you destructing? When a little trial, when a little test, when a little something comes your way, are you constructive or destructive? Something to think about. So, yeah. In that space to find a way to reconcile or to salvage something from the decision that was made, that divine mind found the most likely who was the least likely. So if you look at options or things that you look to do, there are things that are strong in regards to what your inclination is, but oftentimes the greatest results might come from the least likely way of approach, and that's approach that might even be foreign to you. So in the space of finding a salvageable space, the divine looked and saw one who was perfect in their generation. And Noah, in the narrative, is perfect in his generation. Not perfect in his generation as if he was flawless, but perfect in his generation in regards to rebuilding, because we're talking about rebuilding. That means something had to be destroyed and rebuilt. And we're talking about the flood, right? So we're talking about the flood of our decision making and then the Reformation period. And we were talking about certain things. We were talking about imposter syndrome last week and different aspects of that. Noah did not think that he was qualified for the task. Noah had subjected himself to the sort of set of circumstances that God did. Noah was in the cut, in the vineyard, hitting the bottle like, I'm good, man. And he became perfect in his genealogy because he was the least likely. He was the least likely. So the option, that choice, that decision, that's not really your inclination could be your greatest space where elevation comes from and the most favorable outcome. It just doesn't appear that way. So Noah first had to regain his identity. He had to rise above the set of circumstances that was holding him back, and he began to build. First, he went to the people and told the people, like, yo, a flood is coming. They're like, ain't a cloud in the sky, fam. What is you talking about? Yo, Noah bugging again. Because they saw him as a degenerate. You know how you go tell somebody an idea, you share it with them, and they tell you all the reasons why you can't do something. You tell them from your heart, you tell them from your mind, you shared it with them. And they say, yo, you bugging, you crazy. You Noah in that instance, right? You Moses in that instance. Whatever character you wish to ascribe to yourself, you God in that instance. God tell you things all the time. You're like, me? But when he began the process of tuning out that background noise and said, I'll show them not only through my words, but through my ways in action. And he began to build. He began to build on a solid foundation, sight unseen. He was building an ark with not a cloud in the sky. And as he began to build externally, after rebuilding internally, he began to construct something that the people began to marvel at. They still thought he was bugging. They still thought he was a little off. And it didn't stop there. He built the ark, and then he went to go get the animals. He went to go get the animals. It wasn't like the animals was just hanging out. Like, all right, fam. He had to go get specific animals. So, looking at the narrative, when it begins that process of rebuilding, there was an instance or a circumstance that led to its demise, that led to its destruction, and that destruction was something that was necessary for one reason or another. And that's something we have to be mindful of in the decision-making process. Something had to be moved out of the way in order for this set of circumstances. There's something associated with it regardless. So it's more I wanted to say on that, but I'll leave it right there. And I'll get into my notes because I don't want to be here that long with everybody too much. Okay. So give me a half a second. and we will get to this right here. Just a few seconds, all right? All right. Reflective question. What does rebuilding look like to you? Share your thoughts and experiences with us using the hashtag Transformation Tuesday and, of course, student knowledge. All right. Loss isn't just about physical destruction, it's about the disconnection, the trauma, and the setbacks that follow. The disconnect. The disconnect. The trauma and the setbacks that follow. So a chain of events. Like my God say, the domino effect. Chain of events, the disconnection. So something happened in the instance where the creator or the designer or the builder was tied to his or her creation to the point of mastery in its design. And then when its creation, its lifespan, time brought to the material view a flaw in the design. The disconnection. We're so close to our decisions sometimes that we don't see the foundational flaw. And that can cause the trauma and the setback. So if your mind becomes fixated on that, then that's where you go. I started off with my brother Brick. In the video was one of the things that we helped him do. This platform, Do Nots Radio, right? And they're out there with a group called New Era Detroit, and they doing hood to hood. They're going door to door. They've been out there for 10 years now. So Detroit and other places, they converged in Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, all the way to the mother continent. So this organization's been around for a decade. They do that work. And my brother Brick and some of the family was together, and they were out there in Flint with the crisis of the water, right? They tell you about crisis all over the place, but they won't tell you about the crisis happening right here, right? The drinking water, the showering water, all kind of the water. It's a crisis. It's still a crisis right now. And, you know, this organization, my brother Brick and so many others, they converged on the city and was handing out clean water out there in the hood with the people. You understand? Because the whole place ain't affected. It's just a certain geographical location by design. So they were out there, and the video encapsulates that in the space of crisis, the Christ figures emerge. We look at the situation of Hurricane Katrina. Next year, it'll be 20 years. In the space of the crisis, the Christ figures emerge. So there's something about crisis in some of these spaces where the Christ figures emerge. Would they have emerged otherwise? Who knows? So in that space rebuilding after the devastation, it identifies amongst you those heroes and sheroes that are among you. Reflective question: what challenges has your community faced, and how did it begin the journey towards recovery? We had crisis after crisis. This American experience has become a crisis. It has been a crisis. Whether you're indigenous to this landmass or you were born here via the Maafa. How do you begin the journey towards recovery? Something to think about. True leaders rise in a time of crisis, not to command, but to unite and empower. So reminiscent of the Black organizations that preceded it, Near Detroit serves that function. And other organizations that are out here. So in crisis, they wasn't sitting on their hands. They're still feeding people in the community. They're still doing security for the children, patrolling the neighborhoods, making sure people are safe. There's a whole bunch of things that go under that umbrella that they're doing. And that's grassroots organization. They say grassroots, but it's grassroots. Those things come from the God within. So there are people who have this in their heart and in their mind, and then they get started. Back to the Noah story, nobody said if there was a group of people who seen Noah building this ark and was like, yo, we're going to help you out. Because that was a direct correlation between creator and creation. If this one, who was the least likely, the most despised and rejected, could be reformed, then there was hope for humanity. Who are the leaders or organizations in your community who have made a difference in times of hardship? Think about them. Shout them out. Make a donation, whatever the case may be. In times of hardship, not fair weather, times of hardship. Think about those people. Think about those people who are nameless. Think about those people who are faceless. If they're nameless and faceless, don't shout them out. Just go show them some love. Leave a in their mailbox. Find out who they are and show them a little love. Healing isn't just personal, it's communal. It's about creating safe spaces to grieve, reflect, and rebuild. safe spaces, sacred spaces. Where does the mother go? Where is the community of mothers where they go when their children get grown and they could just sit with the mothers and they could minister unto one another and share these stories of motherhood. So when the expected mother or the prospective mother comes, she could go there and get some guidance. She could go there and share her ideas and hear from these great minds about what motherhood is. So she's prepared. Certain things don't go in the book. Certain things are shared mouth to ear. That's the same for fatherhood, grandmotherhood, grandfatherhood, brotherhood, sisterhood, all of these spaces, that environment. And in that environment, those sacred spaces, you could come as you are. I remember one of those things in the Nation of Islam. They said you can come as you are, but you can't stay as you are. So these environments should be enriching enough and transformative enough for you to be able to go under this particular study or fellowship and be made better than when you first came. The power of coming together to share stories and experiences can't be underestimated. What steps can your community take to begin healing together? My mother said one of the first steps in the healing process is to admit that there's a problem. And then the second step is a decision. I heard her ask people, do you want to live? Face to face, like eye to eye. Do you want to live? Noah's there telling people about the flood that's coming, that's pending, and there is no cloud in the sky. You could look at people and they look well and they're not well. They don't know that the flood is coming. So you're there talking about an ark and building an ark for people who don't know that they're sick. They think they're fine. They think every decision that they made is good. So when the ark and all the animals were gathered, everything that was ready, that was necessary, that appointed time was there, and the ark was closing, the rain started coming. The rain started coming, and the people was out dancing in the rain. For the last 8 or 9 years here on Do Not's Radio, we taught disaster preparedness and urban survival, off the grid living, all sorts of preparation for natural disaster. You know how many times that training that we received here helped me personally, my fam, different people. It sounds like Noah, right? Until you stuck on the side of the road or the lights go out. wherever the case may be. So these sets of circumstances are there as preparatory to ingrain in your mind in the advent that something happens, you're prepared. That's what trading is for. Recovery isn't just about restoration, it's about innovation and creating systems that can withstand future challenges. Preparation. We have to prepare our young people. Our young people are the architects of tomorrow's resilience. Are we preparing them? Are we training them? Are we going over things with them? Or have we written them off? Are we perpetuating generational cycles that happened before us? April 3rd, 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., peace and blessings be upon him, gave a speech about been to the mountaintop. That's the title of the speech. And in there, he talked about the resilience of the young people that was out there with him. And he talked about them being almost immune to fire hoses, to G, is to have on riot gear, tear gas, police dogs, and water hoses. That's your response. That's your response to women and children, voicing the disdain against the order of the day. That is your response. So he was talking about the resilience of a fearless group of young people. Jail didn't scare them. They have been jailed hundreds of times. They have been bitten. It didn't stop them. Tear gas, beat with billy clubs, rubber bullets. It didn't stop them. So think about the resilience of young people. And then think about how much more resilient and how much more prepared they would be if you train them. In contingency, in critical thinking, in sustainability practice, they're prepared. Those who are prepared teach preparation to those who aren't prepared. So last question before I wrap it up. What sustainable practices can your community adopt to ensure a stronger future? So today, we talked about how your community can thrive after a loss. Share your insights and join the conversation using the hashtag Transformation Tuesday, hashtag Community Rebuilding, and of course the hashtag Through Knowledge Radio. Peace to the family. Rebuilding is not just about physical structures, it's about restoring hope, dignity, and connection. Let's commit to being active participants in the transformation of our communities. Until next time, continue to do knowledge. tune in tomorrow for Wisdom Wednesdays. We'll be right here. Until then, peace.
Caught me howling at the moon soon as she came out. Once again, the time has arrived. Me and a pack out hunting for something that'll help this hunger subside. We come from the jungle, yeah. We had to rumble, yeah. Wasn't born no silver spoons. What you see is our hustle here. We come from the jungle, yeah. We had to rumble, yeah. Wasn't born no silver spoons. What you see is our hustle here. I wake up all day, get to it, get to it. Grind all night, get through it, get through it. Gotta get mine, gotta do it. No matter how tight, push through it, push through it. Dollar for dollar for dollar, day after day after day. On go like it's no tomorrow, all a nigga know is get paid. Before I ever take a hand out, I might make him put his hands up. But I'd rather just stay 10 down and keep running my bands up. Sauce boss, all the above. Cool with Jay since I need love. More drip drop than split splats. Keep guns and tools like Kit Kats. Extra, whole ass bound me. Shooter stepping like a frat about me. Rolling on TikTok, hit with a big block. Yeah. Don't start shit, but quick get shit shot. Yeah. We come from the jungle, yeah. We had to rumble, yeah. Wasn't born with no silver spoons. What you see is our hustle here. We come from the jungle, yeah. We had to rumble, yeah. Wasn't born with no silver spoons. What you see is our hustle here. I wake up all day, get to it. Grind all night, get through it. Gotta get mine, gotta do it. No matter how tight, push through it. Dollar for dollar, day after day after day. On go like it's no tomorrow, all a nigga know is get paid. Man, I come from the zoo, yeah. Them lion, tigers, wolves, and bears. I swear they eat you alive, yeah. Spit out your bones and wash it down with your tears. No room for fears, I be on my grind, getting mine. Trust in God, but better keep that on. If it's only be hunting, I'm hunting every time. It gets no loss, the loss is ours. Go hard every time. We come from the jungle, yeah. We had to rumble, yeah. Wasn't born no silver spoons. What you see is our hustle here. We come from the jungle, yeah. We had to rumble, yeah. Wasn't born with no silver spoons. What you see is our hustle here. I wake up all day, get to it. Grind all night, get through it. Gotta get mine, gotta do it. No matter how tight, push through it. Caught me howling at the moon soon as she came out. Once again, the time has arrived. Me and a pack out hunting for something that'll help this hunger subside.
Excuse me, sir. Tail lights out.
Oh, alright.
Yes, sir.
You cannot go without this book, and let me explain why. Voices of the Diaspora, written by Knowledge Born Allah, takes you through countless and countless different blacks. From our scholars, our warriors, our great sisters, and even entrepreneurs. It speaks to the past, the present, and the future. There's even an action plan for us that are serious about businesses that we wanted to take on. Entrepreneurship is one of the first things that he speaks about. And if you're an avid reader, this is a 5-part series. So this is not only a great resource for ourselves, it's a great resource for us as parents. We can teach it and incorporate it into our lesson plans for our children.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. Back in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? So no more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to
motive
the
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.